guys, we're here with Todd Madwick, the head of property management for McGrath. We're going to be talking about the rental side of things. Toddy, any exciting facts or figures you can hit us with for the rental side of things?
Yeah, there's a lot going on in the rental market at the moment. We're still seeing a lot of challenges with cost of living, supply and demand, the shortage there of rental properties, not just Gold Coast, nationally. That's still pretty consistent.
Yep. Are you finding a lot of people are selling their investment properties, or there just isn't enough to choose from? Or
yeah, I think, look, the lag of property and stock is from obviously COVID times as well, when there's a lot of stock that got sold, especially investor stock.
Yep.
So there is a short of investor stock. We're starting to see the investors come back into the market now, which is really exciting. Which will be good for the tenants. But look, the supply and demand, I think I've mentioned this previously to you, that issue will continue for a period of time. So the key thing for tenants right now is be prepared. There is the new legislation passed in Queensland, so they can limit the amount of increases to 1 per annum now, which will be great, which will give some sort of peace of mind to tenants. But also they're just going to have to be prepared that, look, the supply and demand will unfortunately keep pushing up the rents to some degree. Depends on the landlord and the business that you're working with to that degree of increase.
Yep.
So tenants just have to come in open-minded in that space at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Also coming towards the end of the financial year, any sort of recommendations you can give for landlords? Obviously want to get the best tax returns and things like that.
Yeah, obviously, look, the key thing I always say is making sure you've got a depreciation report done, and working with a quantity surveyor to get all that done, and I'm sure we can work through to give your preferred partners through to that space, but making sure that it pays for itself in year one without fail. And then for the landlords, just making sure you've got everything, and if there's any other ongoing repairs and maintenance that needs to be done, obviously trying to push it through before June 30, which is obviously a key point there. From a tenant's perspective, I think, as I said, it's in a financial year won't impact the tenant side of things too much. But landlords, just making sure you've got all your books ready, and then making sure that the agents should be pushing through their end of financial year reports. I know McGrath, they come through straight away in preparation for tax time.
Yeah, okay. And if I was a landlord today, how would you decide who's a good property manager? I know if they're looking for a sales agent, they can go on realestate.com, they can look at reviews. How would you suss a good property manager out for your property?
Yeah, look, online it's difficult for property managers because there's not a rating system there, but I think sitting down and having an honest conversation with them, the day and age of property managers now are hiding behind a computer being a processor now is changed. It's all about, I suppose, customer experience for the landlord, and having someone who you can have a strong relationship, which is the long-term goal is for a property manager and for a property management business is to be able to create wealth for your clients. That's where there's been a shift. So delivering amazing customer experience for the landlord, so they're not following up. They're getting the property managers proactive in what they need to do, trying to keep costs down for the landlord, but also trying to grow wealth for the landlord over time. So making sure they're doing some capital improvements to the property to make sure that the value is continuing to go up as well, and the rents continue to go up. But also making sure that they're adding value in other areas to the landlord, which is wide-ranging.
Yeah, I think a good question would be asked how long they've actually been in the business, because you and I know that property managers, they burn them, the companies burn them. So, with us, we know we've got Aaron there that's been there for 10 or 8 years at the company sort of thing. So I think that's probably one of the best questions you can ask, how long you've been at the company.
Yeah, and it's the company as well. Like, there's some great property managers, unfortunately, that do bounce around because the structure and systems within a business aren't suitable. So you need to have a business that aligns with that person as well. And like you mentioned, Aaron, and we're thankful here at McGrath that we do have a lot of long-standing property managers, whether it's in the industry as well. That's the other big thing. How long have they been in the industry as well? Like, whilst you can have a great relationship and a great client service manager in that way, are they going to be up to speed with the legislation processes to make sure that they can get what you need in a timely fashion? Yeah,
and I know there's a lot of agents out, property managers charging, next to nothing, but you get what you pay for in the end of the day, don't you?
Yeah, like another good question to ask if you're trying to research property managers is, what's your point of difference? I think that's the real critical thing. Everyone will come up with the same jargon in terms of what they do. The software programs are quite similar across most of the businesses across the country, but what are they doing differently to make sure that experience for you as a landlord, and tailoring it to the landlord as well, is really critical. Like asking the landlords, how do you like to be communicated? Do you prefer email? What time do you work? Do you like me to text you after hours? So tailoring it to the client, I think that will minimize. Look, a landlord doesn't want to interact too much with their property manager. That's the whole idea. 100%. So if we can tailor it for the landlord, then that'll benefit them. They don't have to have the communication and time spent with the property manager, but they've got absolute trust and faith that it's getting done to the right level.
Beautiful. Okay, folks, as always, if you need anything, you know I'm only a phone call away. Look forward to speaking to you soon. Have a great day.